We had a huge storm and there were trees falling down in the vet ring and all the timing systems were broken and our horses didn't care. They just went straight through vetting, straight into the bucket and eating.
The horse was so strong, because of Jolene's training, the breeding, the feeding, that the horse left 17 minutes behind the leader. And there was so much in that tank, and the rest is history. I mean, the horse got gold medal in that event.
Welcome everyone to episode 123 of the CEN Nutrition Podcast. You're with your host Bryan today. And today I'm joined by two special guests and they could be considered the A-team. And firstly, it's Jolene Cole, owner and trainer of Currajong Endurance Arabians. And guess who's back? It is the Tom Quilty Gold Cup 2023 winner, Ashley Cole, on our podcast today. And they are both fresh from their 2024 Inglewood ENDURAFEST weekend, which was at the beginning of this month. And that featured the Australasian Endurance Regional Championships. And firstly, how are you, Jolene?
I'm good, thanks, Bryan. How are you?
Very good. As we said, A-team company here, early winter's morning. How's everything in New Zealand, Ashley?
Just super pumped, Bryan. Super pumped to be talking to everybody again and to be on the podcast with Jolene. It's got me fizzing. And it's raining here in New Zealand today, which is really unusual for New Zealand. Ha, ha, ha. So,
an indoor day.
Pretty happy to be out of the paddock and in the house talking to you. So, looking forward to today.
And I'm saying this with a wink. It is after lunchtime over there.
What are you talking about?
Glass in hand.
Brian, it's not 4 o'clock in New Zealand yet.
We won't open with that, but I'll start with Jolene first, I think. And, congratulations on the recent results at ENDURAFEST. Would you like to take us through that for your team, Jolene?
Yes, sure, Bryan. The ENDURAFEST results are off the back of actually the Roma test event, which was going to be at Inglewood as well. But anyway, where both our horses had a win, one with Emma in the 1-star and Ashley in the 2-star on horses that we actually hope to take one day, in 2 years, to the World Championships in Alula. So ENDURAFEST was just another tick in the box, but it also happened to be our very first individual gold medal and team gold medal. So we're super excited.
Gee, fantastic. Congratulations. And
yeah, it was a real buzz. And
I understand Ashley was riding one of your horses?
Yeah, so she rode the same horse she rode at Roma in the 120, and that horse is now 3-star qualified with Ashley, which is really exciting. And she also rode our other amazing horse, Razorback Blue Avatar, for a team gold, individual gold, sorry.
Wow.
So I'm sure she'll take you through that. It was very exciting.
Oh, it was an exciting event. We had the Australasian region, included Japan, Malaysia, China, New Zealand, Singapore and Australia. So there were 4 athletes involved in each team and lifelong friendships, I believe, have been formed. It was pretty cool. Malaysia was outstanding, I believe. So was Japan.
Hey, just on a side note, I am actually 50% Malaysian.
You are not, are you? Well, they were incredible. Yeah. So we swapped a few Kiwi words for Malaysian words, and I can't remember a single thing because I think I'd had too many gins at the time.
Terima kasih. I thought my mum's going to be curling up with my Malaysian accent or non-accent. Cool. So my mum was born in Malacca and Australian dad, but I have a huge family in Malaysia. So,
well, I can guarantee you that our Malaysian friends will be listening to this podcast. So I think you should get that accent a little bit more refined.
Apa khabar baik. That was just like, how are you?
I think this is when you should use some editing tools.
We'll leave it there. There might be that new AI that translates it into Malaysian or Bahasa. That would be.
To bring it back, I am just beyond words grateful to be involved in this A-team because individually we're good, but together as a unit, as a team, we get stuff done. And with Jolene and her horses and the training, yourself with the feeding, and myself with the ability to follow instructions, we get it done. And it's super exciting. Yeah, looking forward to the rest of the podcast, Bryan.
I love listening to you, Ashley, in terms of that motivation, that mindset. But also, I've spoken to Jolene lately in terms of her transition to the new CEN Ultimate feed, which was released a couple of months ago. And I think I'll let Jolene explain that it has been nothing but a success for her team, and we'll give listeners some insight to that.
Yeah, thanks, Bryan. So, like many, we were in limbo for a little while, which is no one's fault. So we were off the back of running out of the complete and between events. So there was a week between events, between Roma and Inglewood, where we were like, oh, my goodness.
My apologies.
Bryan, can you get us feed? Can you get us feed? Anyway, you sorted us out, and we had exactly 3 weeks to change over feeds on super fit horses.
Wow.
And I was nervous, and lots of people were, saying to me, are the starch levels too high, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we listened to the podcast, and that put us at ease. As well, we know that CEN has never let us down in the past. So into it we went. And but one thing, the main thing for us that I didn't have to worry was because the supplements never changed. And the supplements are the biggest thing for us in why I think our horses run so well, is those supplements are just golden, literally.
Yeah, here.
Thank you. Yeah, we pride ourselves on our quality, the ingredients that we use that are pure human grade. But going back onto the CEN Ultimate and why it was out, we were moving everything to the East Coast. We sourced the same legume family. So obviously the old one was the lupin bean. We're in the fava bean and mung bean now. Trying to get that profile right, but also giving that higher digestible energy per kg, which, as we've explained in other podcasts, is so crucial for performance horses, especially endurance horses, to reach their potential or reach their maximum ability and perform well. And yeah, we just apologize to everyone for that whole change, but we think this is a better evolvement in the nutrition profile. And as Ashley and Jolene will explain today, the results speak for themselves, but also when you get a horse to its healthiest stage and everything makes sense and all the puzzle pieces are together, including the rider as well, you've got a team you can move forward confidently. And this is what I have here on the podcast, Ashley and Jolene.
Yeah, exactly, Bryan. And another perfect example of what you're saying is we actually added a horse back into our team from New Zealand. She's from Australia. We sent her to New Zealand to do qualifiers, and then she came back. So she flew in from Auckland 3 weeks prior to race day and had not been on any CEN feed. And we just went, bugger it. We put her straight on cold turkey onto all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
And she ran in the 2-star at ENDURAFEST like an absolute machine.
Amazing.
She was calm so she'd gone from being full of herself, being on the New Zealand rich grass, and came here, and we got all the inflammation out of her body with the awesome feed that you have. And she was unreal on the day, like focused, calm, had all the energy, and thanks to CEN, because that transition can be very scary, flying a horse in from another country. We had no problems at all, so that was exciting.
Yeah, I concur to that. And what Jolene said's dead right about the issues of the grass we have in New Zealand. It can create terrible inflammation in the muscles. And for New Zealand, it's almost normal. You can look at a New Zealand horse and you think, yeah, that's normal. But you put that horse up against an Australian horse, and we can see that inflammation. And your supplements and, the antioxidants, it just really helps just shred it. Yeah. And you could not tell by looking at those 4 horses that Jolene had brought to the event. You couldn't do the old sing-song, one of these horses do not belong here. That horse looked like it had been in Australia on that diet for its life. So real credit to the feed.
Thanks so much. That's a very good testament. And as Peter and I develop the feed, we keep innovating, but also with my science background, knowing the ins and outs of the horse, the physiology, driving those anti-inflammatory pathways, and knowing the antioxidants required for a performance horse, and not putting unnecessary ingredients in a horse that causes oxidation or inflammation. We've just got that pure product that everything is in it for a reason. And the next evolvement was from the lupins to the fabers and the mung beans. It was another step forward in terms of, for me, yes, the starch is a little bit higher. It's still balanced. It's not like a grain starch, which is at 50%. It's down around the 12%, so it's nicely balanced. But that also fuels the horse's nervous system. The central nervous system runs on glucose when that's broken down. So we're doing things for a reason. We identify things that we can improve, and then we work at it. And I just can't thank you both for giving us a go, seeing the results, but also telling everyone else your experience.
Well, we're in this for the long haul. We've got a really far-reaching plan. Our plan, and like Jolene mentioned, what we have just done, we're very proud of, but they're just stepping stones. And our end goal, our end short goal is 2026 at Al Lula in Saudi Arabia. Hopefully to have somewhere in our team of horses, 2 riders, Emma Cole and myself, representing our individual countries for our countries at the World.
We have exactly 4 months until Al Lula. We are counting down, Bryan.
And I know that Ashley manifests like the thoughts and the success. So that's a good. That's giving me goosebumps. The goal set for this.
Well, we actually as a team, we've all started ice bathing and manifesting, and our lives are getting better.
This is really up my alley because I was at the cold plunge this morning.
Yep, so will both of us.
Yeah,
it's just going back, like even for our listeners, this cold plunge phenomenon, or that's happened to us as a human race lately, and it's got in the limelight that it helps. For one, it shocks your liver. It gives those heat shock proteins. So making yourself uncomfortable actually is a health benefit at the end of the day. And I think that's what you guys see as well.
It's been life-changing. And so Jolene's husband started it first, and we saw the difference in him. And then Jolene started it, and I just want to be her. So I had to start it. And it's just been life-changing. Yep. Just life-changing.
Jolene, so how do you guys do it? We will go off on a tangent here, but I think this is good for even rider mental health in particular as well, not just overall health. If someone wants to start that ice bath or the cold plunge, how did you guys start off with it, with Jolene's partner?
So I bought him one of those blow-up ice bath cold plunges from Google, literally $100 and something. Yep. But you can put a bathtub on your veranda. And just start for a minute a day. I'm up to actually 10 minutes a day, and I can't believe how much mental strength I have, let alone, the way my body is working is improving. And, it not only the body but the brain, and that's the same with the horses. Because we don't have nothing bad in the gut, the brains on the horses are just running so well, and so we've decided we have to do the same thing to us.
Because the horses can sense if you're stressed, so you can sort of influence them if you're in a more calm mental state.
You are 100% right about that. So Jolene said, "You have to do this, Ashley," and I said, "I don't have a cold plunge." She said, "Fill your bath up with cold water and just get in the mornings."
Yep.
So I did that, and I'm not sure if I can say this on air, but I messaged Jolene after my first cold plunge, and I told her that I found Jesus in my bath because I kept saying his name over and over again, and so the second morning that I did it, I quite happily told them Jesus had left my bath. And so anyway, I went on to purchase online the combination sauna and ice bath, which is really cheap.
Yep.
And it's just changed my life. So every morning I wake up, I make a cup of coffee, I turn my sauna on, and when that's ready, I've finish my coffee, get in the sauna for 10. Actually, I don't count time like Jolene does. I do 3 songs. I
Nice.
play my music really loud. I do 3 songs in the sauna, and then I get in the cold plunge and I do 2 songs in the cold plunge. And
fantastic.
So good.
That's fantastic. I started beginning of this year. It feels like I'm walking on a cloud around here, but I can recall information quicker. I'm a lot, would you say, brighter in the eye, but like the mental clarity for me, because I do gym work as well, that's good for recovery, but mentally it has been a huge benefit. I think I would be the half the man I would be today without it this year. And if our listeners have not looked into it or just doubting the science or anything around it, there's a lot of evidence gathered now of the benefits, also for even the younger generation as well. I think it's around that 3 minutes if you can stay under, but even if you have a cold shower to start prepping yourself for it, there's nothing to be afraid of. And I think it's just getting that confidence and the mindset and that mental strength to do it. And through winter, yes, it's going to be even more challenging, but the benefits are so worth it, as Ashley and Jolene have outlined.
We reckon the cold shower is harder than a cold plunge.
I agree.
There's something about 100%. The way a cold shower hits you.
Yep. Because you can step out. You can step
really
out of the
unbearable.
Stream. Yeah, you can step out of the stream. Whereas here, for our cold plunge, in my gym, I pretend I can't get near the ladder, so gravity pushes me away, so I have to stay in. And it's just a mindset thing. But Peter introduced me to it at his gym, and he's kind of a little bit cunning. He when we were in there, he was telling me, "Oh yeah, it's 2 minutes. Oh yeah, it's 4 minutes," but it was really only like 2 minutes. So he was getting me to stay in longer and longer like that, but to his benefit, like it's changed the way his mental clarity is, and I can't thank him enough for introducing it to me as well. But yeah, I think
same.
As Ashley said before, for rider mental health and that connection to the horse, and also for Jolene looking after the horses, they can really sense that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, we did go on a tangent there, but let's come back to Ashley. Let's get just a quick update on your 2023 Tom Quilty Gold Cup winner, Tonki Debu Novak, and how's everything at home, Ash?
Everything at home is going really well. It's off season at the moment, and this season past, which of course is the season after the Tom Quilty phenomenal win that he had, we wanted to concentrate that horse on one of the 4 we'd like to qualify for the 2026 World Champs at Olula in Saudi Arabia. So we had some boxes to tick with FEI. So we started him through the FEI qualification program, which pretty much for him was going kind of backwards for him. You know, he had to just do like lower level rides to start his qualification. He wasn't very happy about that because he likes to run on adrenaline a little bit like me. And you know what? The other thing I really noticed hard in him this year was that he was not on the CEN diet. And I really felt that hard in his completions in these races. You know, when he did get the completions, can I put in my own words, they were quite ugly.
Yeah.
And they weren't anything that I felt proud about. And miraculously, the CF50 came into the country. And I really have to put a plug in here for Donna
at Feed Central
from Feed Central, because she worked so hard, tirelessly to get this product. And, you know, with your help, thank you. And the CF50 came in 2 weeks before the Nationals, which was our final event of the year for qualifications. And the difference that I noticed in him, even just being on the CF50, was phenomenal. And that sounds unbelievable, but trust me, you've just got to look at the results on paper from him for that race to see that it had an effect on him, because I hadn't done anything differently.
Yeah.
All I'd done was to get rid of these supplements that I was trying to emulate CEN with that just weren't working. And so the CF50 sort of kicked him back into action. And so we ticked the last box of the year really well. And now we're waiting to finish his completions when our season starts in November. So there's about 3 things we need to work on to get to these world champs. And the sponsorship has been fabulous. Your sponsorship, CEN, are helping us feed the horses. We have another sponsor, Alpha Endurance, who clothe us, which is really important. But the majority of my time at the moment is taking up trying to find a corporate sponsor. We really need a corporate sponsor to help us with the nitty-gritty finances to get there. And so that's the number 1 step, is the sponsorship. And the number 2 step is qualifying the horses that we need to get there. So we've got 2 riders targeted, which are myself and Emma Cole, Jolene's daughter. And Jolene, we're trying to qualify 4 horses, aren't we? So Novak, Blue Avatar.
Yep, Revolution and Razorback Kelly's Fire. So that we can take picks, really.
Amazing.
Which is hopefully well.
Pretty big. So that's our plan, and we're going to do it.
And I hope we can help even further in that way. And I think, we got 2 years. I think as we keep going, I can't see a reason why CEN can't step up to the plate at some point and give even further support to you guys. And I think when we look at, is the Tom Quilty in October this year?
Sure is. We've got a countdown to that too, because we've got some big plans for that, and I'll let Jolene take you into that.
Will you? I don't know. Maybe that's a secret.
Drum roll.
No, Quilty for us it's always been the pinnacle because it's attainable, whereas world champs, there's so many things in play, what country it's in, what the selectors, if they like us or not. We like them. But the Quilty is something that we can reach, and we have that big cup in the living room, and we don't want to see it go home, do we, Ashley?
No, we like it a lot.
Very good view in your living room, and it's in South Australia this year?
Yes, it is. Yep, and we've been there before. Ashley flew her horse in from New Zealand in
2017.
2017, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been on this goal as a team since, 2015, Ashley?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, a long time. But it's getting a lot quicker. The destination's getting quicker now that we're all joined up with CEN and Alpha and Ashley and Emma. And
we've learned a lot of ways not to do it. We've learned a lot of ways how it won't work. And that's excited us. Like, failure excites us. And we've failed a lot. And it's all pointing now into us learning from those adventures and getting things right. And we feel really excited.
So what will the next few months, I'll start with Jolene, in terms of preparation, and then when does Ashley fly in?
So we're between FEI rides at the moment, which it's a shame we can't afford to actually put on our own FEI rides. We're sort of at the mercy of other ride organisers. So at the moment, the horses are actually having a little rest because they're already quite fit. So we're going to back them off for a little while and then build them back up again for the Quilty and hopefully any FEI rides that come on the calendar. So that's kind of where we're at the moment.
It's a shame because there was a 3-star event scheduled for the end of this month, but that's been cancelled. So as Jolene said, if we could find a corporate sponsor to put on our own ride, and then that just is one step closer to getting the qualifications that we need to get to Alula.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just consuming us. Yeah.
Because we'd rather not run the horses than run them too much, So if there's no FEI rides on, we'll just hold back and wait for the Quilty.
Yeah, nice. And just manifesting and putting out to the universe, what with a corporate sponsorship, what dollar value is that around? What's required?
Well, for Alula, it is 100% sponsored for flying the horses in and out, and that's why we are grabbing this with two hands and thinking this is ours to get to, because that cost is eliminated. So what we need is we need a corporate sponsor to help us cover the entry fees to the FEI events, maybe a little bit of travel costs. That's pretty much it, isn't it, Jolene?
Yeah,
entry
that's
fees
right.
and travel costs. And maybe if we could get the corporate sponsor to sponsor an FEI event where we call it the
give them naming rights.
for example,
nice.
the Colgate, the Colgate, some bloody thing. And
She's going to the top.
yeah, and the cost of that's not huge. We've got maybe the cost of something like that is you have to pay the FEI fees, which could be $1,500 to put the event on, and then we just have to get some officials involved, and it might be the cost of perhaps some motel units, a couple of airfares to get a few officials in. And we call them no-frills events. So there doesn't have to be any prizes, any prize money, any ribbons or anything. Just get the event done, get the horses qualified, get some social media out there on it, and boom.
And the good thing about FEI at the moment is it's growing so much in Australia that they're actually paying themselves back now because the entries are so big, whereas before maybe 1 or 2 horses entered, now 30 might enter.
Exactly. And
so the cost is less.
At ENDURAFEST, I think, Jolene, you might be able to confirm this, that the amount of entries for FEI at that event superseded any other number in the history of, am I right?
Of Australian endurance.
Of Australian FEI.
So everyone's getting excited about FEI, which is great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So I think if we can get a corporate sponsor for an event, that they'll probably end up breaking even. Yeah. And Jolene, you've got the country, you've got the tracks, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. We're really lucky with our forest.
We've got somewhere to go. It's easy to get to off a, what do you call those things you've got in Australia? Motorways?
Yeah. We're only an hour and a half from the airport, which is great.
We normally call them highways, yeah? Highways, motorways?
Yeah, highways.
I have no clue. We don't have them in New Zealand.
You don't have them? Okay. You have chili bins instead of eskies. I know that.
I had some boys from Dubai here on the weekend, and they said some pretty bad things about our roads here. And I said to them, well, they shouldn't be so chilly, that they should bring the helicopter to my farm. So,
I think.
Hey, could we talk about some of the products that we're really keen on trying that we'd like to hear a little bit more about? We're really keen on trying this Frisky Mare product. You know, we run a mare in the team. My favourite, she is Couragong Revolution, who Jolene bred, and I just love riding her. And I want to hear how I can tick the boxes with her using this Frisky Mare.
Yeah, so this is one of our newer products that came onto the market, I think, late last year, and it was by client demand. They were using I think there was a few other companies that do a liquid form. They wanted something in a powder that they could add to the feed but still be palatable. And so what we've done is we've lent on, and there is a podcast on the CEN Frisky Mare, but we've lent on some key ingredients like the chase tree berry, dong quai, ashwagandha, schisandra, and what they do, they really help normalize the hormone balance in mares in particular. And this has been a huge success, this product, because the feedback we're getting is that we have the 2 sizes of 1 kg and the 4 kg. Someone tries at the 1 kg, they come straight and buys the 4 kg because they just see the noticeable improvement in their behavior and like less irritability and tension in their mare. But then also, some clients have been using it in their geldings as well, and they've had success in trying to normalize their behaviors also. So if you got the horse or if you got the mare not keeping her mind on the job, or you think there's something there that can give that little edge, this is a legal supplement as well. So it can be used instead of, I know there's those drugs out there that try to really bring those hormone levels down, but it's it's been a really huge success for CEN this year with that development.
Can I take it, Bryan?
It's I can't say it because it's human grade ingredients intended for animal use. But
Bryan, when I mix the feed, my daughter Emma comes past and takes a handful, and then my Frenchie dogs they lick the bowl. So we're already on yours.
That's a huge growing market, actually. The CEN dog range as well, and I think you guys have probably seen that, like sort of that mainstream stores like the Chemist Warehouses and all that. We've come on their radar. They reached out to us, vetted all the products, and have now got that offering on their marketplace online. So I think the credibility of CEN just keeps rising above and trying to find that alternative to those pharmaceuticals, but also working with the pharmaceuticals to help keep our humans, our horses, our dogs together in the best health they can. So I am dancing around this answer, and I'm not.
You're not allowed
to say it because of those things. But
I'm on what you're saying.
Yep.
Let's do this.
But yeah,
my tea is just becoming thicker and thicker and thicker. It's going to become like a soup now, with the collagen and other bits and pieces.
We do intend to
drink my tea with a spoon.
With our human product, the CEN Collagen peptides, that's one of our best sellers in terms of for rider health, keeping that connective tissue. And as we age, we make less collagen in our bodies. That's part of the aging process, and replacing it would involve eating animals nose to tail, which not everyone wants to do, or get the chicken frames and all that. What we've done is have turned it into a highly digestible protein peptide that is unflavored, and I think both of you guys have had great benefit from that.
Oh, 100%. We were laughing a couple of days ago, Jolene, weren't we, that I think there are 2 products that we use that CEN don't produce, and that we think we need to talk to you about that. So, and that's covering a lot of a horse's diet, of a high-performance horse. Yeah. So it's a real credit to CEN that you've covered everything except for 2. So we'll talk to you about that, Bryan. You need to sort that out.
We can put that in the secret box.
You need to sort that out
after this podcast. But we try and identify what obviously, if we go back to the horse nutrition, there's a lot of chaos and smoke and mirrors in the industry. We stand for the horse's health first and not feeding anything unnecessary, and we do it for a reason, not just to fill a product and try and market it that way. We have the results.
We have a name for you call it chaos. We call it witchery products.
Yeah.
And there's a lot out there that prey on the fear of performance horse owner. Geez, if I don't use this, then bad things are going to happen. And sometimes we get quite angry at the way these products are marketed, on the fear of the horse owner. And we call them witchery products. So,
and I think when you look at the whole landscape and where we come from, we want the foundations right first, because when you have your foundations right, which includes your hay pasture, you're balancing the vitamin mineral deficiencies in this, you're getting your omega-3 or your plant-based omega-3 through the best quality oil on the market, the first cold press flaxseed oil from CEN. Nothing comes close to that. Everyone says they're trying to, but they can't. And then you got your salt as well as your base. When you have these things right, supplements can be limited, but then to achieve, as Jolene and Ashley have said, to achieve the very best, you have to find the supplements that are right for your horse and find those puzzle pieces. And I think Jolene and Ashley's results are a testament to our whole product range. And I can't thank you guys enough for coming on.
We thank you for being so scientific in what you're producing. The other thing we thank you for is, though, even though you have products for humans, you are not trying to humanize the horse. Yep. And there are too many people out there that are trying to sell products to make people believe that the horses will metabolize a product the same as human. They will not. And you understand us, and we thank you for that.
Well, one product that we have looked into is creatine, and there's too much conflicting research on that. Like humans benefit really well from creatine, and it's still just ongoing things like that. That's probably one of the ones I can think about at the moment. Jolene, you have the collagen before you sleep, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
I put it in a tea and I go and have a sauna and then off to bed.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because the specific amino acids that actually help sleep, and that's been researched thoroughly. But I think as people get familiar with what we need in our diets, and that it can only be of benefit to us, and I think, with the ice bath and taking the collagen, I've actually lost 15 kilos since January and feel amazing. And I think it's because it's healing my gut, and then the ice bath helping my brain. I'm just jumping out of my skin. So thank you, Bryan.
Do you know one of the first things I noticed when I saw you, because I only see Jolene maybe once a month, and the first thing I noticed once she'd started on the collagen and the ice bath thing was her skin. Because you had a skin problem, didn't you, Jolene? It kind of was, you used to have a skin problem on your face. It was, you used to get these red blotches.
Yeah.
And your whole face just looks amazing. And not to mention the weight loss, but that was the first thing I noticed was your skin and the eyes. And you mentioned the eyes, Bryan. You said about how your eyes are popping out of your head. Yeah.
In a good way. But
you might not have said it like that.
But looking at the science of that cold plunging or the ice baths, it activates brown fat. So that's the tissue that helps keep our body warm, but it helps control blood sugar and insulin levels, which leads also and helps the body burn calories. And just sitting in there, you're metabolizing, you're upping that calorie burn. And as Jolene has said, the weight loss is there, and the evidence is proof in the pudding. But also the collagen is helping the lining of that gastrointestinal tract, which our immune system's there. So it's helping regulate everything, helping lower that risk of leaky gut, and which can be a form of IBS. So they do go hand in hand, and I'm just really happy to hear these results.
It's funny you talk about the brown fat, because I was trying to explain to somebody with a pretty heavy-duty scientific background about these benefits, and I mentioned brown fat. And they looked at me like I'd gone mad, and they said to me, humans don't have brown fat, lambs are born with brown fat, blah, blah. And I felt like a bit of an idiot. But anyway, I went and I asked Mr. Google, and then one of our A-team members, if we can come back to the A-team, is our breeder from Razorback, is Matt Walker, who is a vet. And without prompting, Matt started talking about the brown fat in the human body and how it's recessed. It's almost like it's sitting there asleep in the back of the neck, and we're born with it, but it's recessed. So I'll let you talk about how that becomes unrecessed, Bryan.
It's so, what would you say? It fascinates me, and I like it how science is evolving, because we wouldn't be talking about this 10, 20 years ago. So the brown fat, it helps you burn calories by creating heat right before your body starts to shiver, so that thermogenesis effect, and this helps regulate sugar, your metabolism. So we all have it. I think newborns can't shiver from memory.
Can I do a plug for no carbs, no sugar gin here? Is that helpful or not really?
Clear alcohols are good, are better than the darker alcohols.
Good.
They say tequila is the best.
I'm a very healthy. I'm an athlete. Yeah, I've gone from athlete to athlete.
But I think I just really like coming together with people. Like, we're in the same industry in different points of the industry, but we all have that same mindset of, we're doing this for our horses. We're really zeroing in on controlling their diets and trying to get the best out of them, that we actually all should look at ourselves, not only for, I guess, that physical side, but that mental side, because mentally, and we touched on it before, if you can get that right, it only transfers to your horse's mental health as well, and the way they feel in performance.
And that comes back to the whole team mindset, because you can have the best breeding in the world, you can have the best trainer in the world, and you can have the best rider in the world. But if the mindset isn't right and the physicality, if any of those factors isn't right, something's going to let the cream down.
Yep. You have to tick every box.
Uh-huh.
So you don't leave
attention
anything.
to detail.
Yep. So you don't leave anything wondering or what if, and then you just leave it up to manifesting that end result.
100.
But I can't thank you guys both enough for joining me on the podcast. Probably the last thing I want to talk about is, so I think Jolene and Ashley can answer this. At the Inglewood ENDURAFEST with your vet checks, was there anything you noticed differently, or I guess your horses have been on the CEN, or the New Zealand horse was transitioned to the CEN? What were the vet comments like for the checks?
Yeah, for us, we used to definitely. We've been on the CEN for a few years now. We used to have problems with the gut. We never had a sick horse, but we had B's and C's for gut, and we always get A's now. The one from New Zealand was probably the worst. Still great, but I think she maybe got 1 or 2 B's for gut. So the longer she's going to be on that and often New Zealand diet, the better. We were literally, all the riders had to wear gloves because the horses were pulling so hard and strong all day. We had a huge storm and there were trees falling down in the vet ring and all the timing systems were broken, and our horses didn't care. They just went straight through vetting, straight into the bucket and eating. So I don't think we could have done better.
That's fantastic.
Can I just comment on the race that I was in the teams event on the first day?
Yep.
So the ultimate goal for us was to have a team completion as the New Zealand team. So that was our number one priority. So my instructions were to go out with a particular rider, stay with that rider, and it became evident to the other rider that their horse was just a little bit not up to the quality of the horse that I was riding. I don't think it was on the same diet. It was just a different horse.
Mm.
So she said, you go, Ashley. And so I finished, there was 3 legs in the race, finished the first leg, came back to the team, said, what are the instructions? They said, just keep taking it easy, finish the second leg. And then by the second leg, we realised that as a team, we were not going to be in the gold medal position or even the silver. And pretty much I could just do what the horse felt up to. And the horse was so strong, because of Jolene's training, the breeding, the feeding, that the horse left 17 minutes behind the leader. And there was so much in that tank that
which is a huge amount of time. 17 minutes.
It's a lot of time.
Yes.
A lot of time. And I think I had Singapore, and it was the first to catch, and I caught the Singapore rider in about 2 kilometres. Then I caught the 2 Malaysians a couple of Ks later, and they're yelling at me, go, go, because they were my buddies. And I saw ahead of me the Australian leading rider at the 10 kilometre mark, which, with a 17-minute lead, to actually visually see that rider in front of you was a testament to the feed and the training and the breeding. And the rest is history. I mean, the horse got gold medal in that event. So that just goes to show you how powerful that feed is when put into the right recipe with training and breeding. So thank you guys, both of you, Jolene, Bryan. Thank you from New Zealand, because for New Zealand, for our high performance program from Endurance, it's done some phenomenal things. And we're really excited about the scheduled release of the high performance program in July, and what you two have done for New Zealand Endurance. We can't thank you enough.
Thanks so much, Ashley. And I think on our part, we are only just one puzzle piece to this whole thing. We want you guys to have the confidence in your horse that you're ticking that nutrition box, so you don't have to really think about the nutrition side, that you're getting the best. And then for Jolene's part, the training, the breeding, she can concentrate on that. She doesn't have to think, oh, what if this supplement, that supplement. She knows where she stands. She's very used to the whole CEN feed program and what supplements she requires. And yeah, I think Ashley just gave a fantastic example of that high performance level and the result you can get when all the puzzle pieces are put together.
Well said.
So I think one last thing, Jolene, you and Ash have a Facebook group that we can highlight if anyone wants to reach out.
Yeah, it's called Endurance Chatter, and there's lots of great updates on there.
Yeah, there's over 10,000 members. Hey, I think it's huge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I think it's the biggest endurance online group in the world.
Yeah,
I think,
wow.
Jolene.
Yeah, and one thing I just wanted to say, I had a lot of people messaging me saying, "Oh, maybe my horse doesn't like the new feed or whatever," but I wonder if maybe. If the horses don't want to eat, it's because they've got ulcers. It's as simple as that. Because we stayed on the CEN supplements all the way through the changeover, we had no problems with them changing back onto the Ultimate.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think when we do transition from feed to feed, it can take that time for that palatability as well for the horse. I think we had the same issue when we introduced the original feed to the market. Not all horses were taking accustomed to it, but I tell you what, in the end, 100% of the horses were liking it as they get used to that palatability and texture. But as Jolene,
the ulcers start to recess.
Yeah, 100%. And
yeah, which is what Jolene said. When a horse doesn't want to eat, there's only one reason a horse doesn't want to eat, and that's because it's got ulcers.
Yeah. I think there's multiple factors involved, and that's probably one of the main ones what Jolene has outlined. And yeah, I think as we move through and give everyone the confidence to try it, it's only going to get bigger and better. But also we have evolved the feed. We've got higher digestible energy per kg, which what we look at the landscape is what we required. I think on the previous one, a little bit too low in the starch, and what we want to achieve is the very best energy output for the horse while keeping that temperament nice and even at the end of the day. And that's the example that we have had in this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. We're always learning and growing, but together, I think with this feed company, we can't go wrong, can we? So Thank you, Bryan.
Thanks so much.
Well said.
We might wrap this up now, and I just want to say I wish both of you guys the very best for the rest of this year and also towards that goal in 2 years' time. But I can't thank you enough again for coming on here and really explaining and trying to give confidence to anyone listening about certain aspects of horse riding, training, breeding, and feeding. And I'll just leave it to both of you guys, maybe Jolene first, just any parting words you'd like to say.
Thank you for having us, Bryan. There's actually a saying that I hear a lot on social media, and they say, ride the horse you have, not the horse you wish you had. But I don't actually like that statement. I like to treat every horse like it could be a world champion, because you never know, that horse can surprise you if you treat them better than they are. And it's the same with humans. If you all treat each other well, life will get better. So, yeah, thank you, Bryan.
That's very well said. And I think, just interrupting you because I'm going to pass on to Ashley, but it's also kind of like if you surround yourself with higher performing or higher minded people that are positive and not negative, you reflect that in a more day-to-day basis. And it's not discarding those people, it's about managing your time with the right people in your life to excel or improve your life and mindset. So I think for me, spending the last hour with you guys on this podcast, Jolene and Ashley, has helped improve my mindset because we're all like-minded, and that's just one example there. But we'll wrap this up with final words from Ashley.
Yeah, well said, Bryan. I like what you just alluded to. I'd just like to reiterate with that and say that I hear a lot of riders who are looking for either a horse to partner with or a feed to feed that horse that they're partnered with. And I hear too much the word cost too much come into play. And my reply to that is you cannot afford not to. How can you not afford not to spend money on the bloodlines of a horse when that is the cheapest part of the whole project? You know, you get a cheap horse, you put a lot of money into it, and you have failure. You know, you buy blood, basic ingredient is already assured to probably be successful if you put the other ingredients in. And it's exactly the same with feed. You can get some really cheap feeds out there, and you can feel better about it when you look at your bank balance at the end of the month. But at the end of the day, when you add up what you have spent for the whole year and it equals failure, it's just a recipe for disaster. I just think people need to really explore their flag on the hill, their end goal, and then work backwards from that. And then, because those things that look expensive are actually the cheapest things that you can put into your program.
It's very well said. Like, there's a theme. I was speaking to someone, they said when they hear that expensive term used, it's like, expensive to what? And as Ashley said, work out where your end goal is, and it may not be expensive because of what you've invested into the horse and into that fixed cost for the bloodlines that you require to get where you need to go. And it's like putting the cheapest fuel in a very expensive Ferrari or something like that. That analogy that Peter uses a bit. So
100%. And people get pretty sick of me using the baking a cake analogy, but you try to bake a good cake and you use rotten flour, you're never going to have a good cake. You know, you get good ingredients, and you can probably be not the world's best chef, but that cake's going to taste pretty good.
I might bring a gin analogy. I like ones that are distilled in smaller batches and nice botanicals, and you can taste that quality, and you pay a little bit more for that on a Friday afternoon.
I've given up on that. I'm just going no carbs, no sugar, mate.
Yeah, no, I think we will wrap this up. But yeah, no, thanks again, Ashley and Jolene. We'll definitely be in touch. All the very best. And
thank you, Bryan. Thank you, CEN.
Go, Jolene.
Yeah, thanks, guys.